Welcome to the Software People Stories. I'm Shiv.
I'm Chitra.
And I'm Gayatri.
We bring you interesting, untold stories of people
Associated with the creation
Or consumption of software-based solutions.
You'll hear stories of what worked,
and sometimes what didn't,
you will also hear very personal experiences.
and insights that would trigger your thoughts
And inspire you to do even greater things.
Before we jump into today's conversation, a special thanks to PM Power Consulting for encouraging and supporting this show right from the start. With over 1,000 person-years of collective experience, PM Power has helped many organizations, teams, and individuals chart out their own journeys of excellence and make progress. Thank you, PM Power. Now, let's move to today's episode.
Today, you will hear the S-curve of Santana Krishnan, SK as we fondly call him. SK talks about how he started building his own self from the educational perspective in Kochi and built his firm for independent organization, which was creating early wins using agile as a way of working, and moved to a next S-curve in ThoughtWorks, and then currently he's consulting with many organizations in the advisory capacity as well as executive coach. SK also talks about when you are creating these jumps or the leaps of faith during this various transitions in your professional, how all of this coincides with the personal also. And in this conversation, you'll also hear how his spiritual journey has transcended over the decades. And it's an amazing thing to also talk about what are the decisions that time has helped him to realize it and make it more concrete. And so one of the amazing things is really talking about his own leadership in terms of what are leadership abilities that he's imbibed from his fellow colleagues. And you will hear that passion as well as his learnings from him. Listen on. Welcome to Software People Stories, SK, and welcome back, I should say. And this is our special edition of S-Curves with our beloved PM Powerians. And we would like to hear from you, your journey and key reflections.
Thank you. I'm very happy to be here. I'll start with my first, I would call it as significant learning and a leap is when I did my PG in Kochi University. Till then, I was doing all my physics and I'm more into particle physics and elementary physics and all that, elementary particles and all that. The Kochi University was specialization in AI and robotics, and that's when it opened up quite a lot of things. And I had an amazing professor, Professor Sridhar. He helped think completely differently. And that opened up quite a lot. And I would say that defined the future of another couple of decades. It had an influence. The way I started learning things and the way I could assimilate and learn from it. So that was a significant one. In fact, where I am today in my IQ and to an extent on the EQ also is influenced by that. Also a very nice peer group and still in touch with some of them and very, very happy to be part of it. So that was one very important, I would call it as pretty defining moments. So definitely I should include that as one of the S-curves. And then followed by that, we did our own software company where we did ERP for spinning mills, especially one experience where with my friend, we almost spent a couple of years in their premises and we did all our analysis process, we did development, we did testing, we deployed, everything we handled end to end. That without naming any of the agile practices, we were actually practicing it. out of the need, out of the necessity, and also that was the right thing to do at that time. It sounded like a pretty normal, common sense to do. The moment the Agile Manifesto and everything was defined, when you look back, wow, that is sounds so, you could connect with it very, very logically, and you can connect with it very effectively, knowing that, yeah, this is what we are doing out of necessity, and that has been defined, and that makes sense. So you get more attached to it. That happened. That is definitely a defining moment. And when I look back, the learnings what we had at that time, and the experiments what we did, and what are the practices we tried, still helps implement some of the things. And still, when I hit some scenarios, it gives back memories of, yeah, we have been there, done that, and this is how it helped. So we could reproduce and we could reuse it and we could improvise. So that was very, very important defining moment. Of course, then the next one is the ThoughtWorks journey, where we met, and I met very nice, interesting people, pretty challenging, as well as I would say not just challenging, it is also very enriching. Every day was very motivating to go to office and be there and work with colleagues and the clients and people from other geographies. Very interesting, not just interesting, I would say. If I have to relive some of the parts of my life, that is one part I would be happy to relive it. That is a kind of, especially initial 4 or 5 years in ThoughtWorks was very, very nice. I remember most of the days and most of the interactions and with people, and it was very good. Definitely that is an S-curve that shaped a lot of polished the rough edges and shaped a thought process around how to solve difficult problems and how to collaborate with people and how to be delivering without stressing oneself. So that was amazing learning, especially some of the, irrespective of the years of experience, people were so nice and so good. It was something which I carry in bottom of my heart. It was very close to my heart. And then, of course, the latest one is PM Power. That is another S-curve. And by the way, this is not a resume kind of stages in my milestone kind of a thing. S-curves, because PM Power, one of the very important learning for me, even it's going on even now, is the people we work with. Amazing people, very talented and so humble. And the willingness to learn at this age and experience, and their ability to grasp things and take people along without making them feel that, oh, they do not know. Instead, they provide such a support that, you are doing amazingly well, you can take it to the next level. That kind of a collaborative, supportive environment is something amazing. And the important learning in that phase, I would say, is the leadership abilities and the soft skills. I used to tell Vishu and KP and people who I work with, so many times I wish I had this kind of experience when I was in my 20s. I would have lived my last 2 decades differently. Would have been completely different. So that was something which I'm so happy that at least I had it now. And I had an opportunity to work with these people and interact and learn. And it is a learning every day. And the kind of clients we work with and the kind of people we interact with, it is, every moment is very happy. So that is another very important learning. And out of all this, there is one parallel track, I would say. It's a different S-curve. As a father, what I learned from my daughter is something I would not have learned anywhere else otherwise. And fortunate to have such a matured daughter who helped me be a human being. Better human being, I would say. The learnings I had from her in the last 7, 8 years, phenomenal. It's phenomenal. And her patience and her way of helping me tone down and polish the communication and be more empathetic and be considerate to my environment, especially the animals and pets and other entities, which in my intellectual arrogance, intentionally I use the word, I usually ignore. I had ignored all that while. And she helped me understand and appreciate and be aware and be sensitive. And that humbling experience made a huge difference, significant difference. So thanks to my daughter for that. It was lovely. And of course, in the meantime, there is another, with that emotional and EQ journey, there is also a slightly mindful journey also started with blessings of Ramana Maharishi. So that is one track going on, but that is more personal. So I would keep it for myself. But all these things happening in the last 10, 12 years, I would say there are a few parallel S-curves happening, but all of them are kind of connected. As Vishu says, it is just levels of deeper levels, various levels of depth, and everything has its own result, and everything has its own manifestations, and it flourishes, and I'm able to reap some of the benefits even in my professional life. But I would say the better impact is more inside as a human being, and how I feel, how the calmness and the composure and ability to manage things around, and how I see it and how I handle it has changed significantly.
Fantastic, SSK. I have several questions.
Yes.
I will. First question I wanted to ask is the S curves in the professional side. Uh, how much of it was deliberate? When I say deliberate, was it intentional? Example, you mentioned you had a fantastic startup working in alongside with business and delivering value on a rapid form, and somewhat ThoughtWorks expanded that, if I can use the word. So when you took that leap in terms of moving from a smaller organization to ThoughtWorks, how much of it was deliberate? Was it intentional, or was it a matter of time for you that you had outgrown that and there was a push from there? Can you share some light on that? Because many people
Sure.
in today's climate, right? Even it's there, it may be a circle, but today's climate is also. I'm working with lot of startups, so I see a lot of startups folding or startups getting folded into larger organization. Not necessarily folding as in a negative connotation, but becoming part of it. So I think your experience will really help several people.
Sure. Yeah. I would say the first one, when in my startup, it was not intentional. We were just being opportunistic. When I say opportunistic, we were just utilizing the opportunity and learning with that. And in hindsight, I can say that that is a very important leap and important learning. But that happened out of necessity, and we were doing the right thing at that time. That's what I would say. But ThoughtWorks is more intentional. When I say intentional, from startup, I had a couple of years in other product companies and all that. I was waiting for ThoughtWorks to start in Chennai. I did not want to I know about ThoughtWorks. I've studied about it. I wanted to be part of it. One organization I want to work with at the time was just ThoughtWorks. I got a few other offers. I said, no, I'm not interested. So I was just waiting for ThoughtWorks to come to Chennai, applied, and I was the first one to be offered. I'm very happy to be part of it. So that was more of a by design, intentional. I wanted to do it. But the learnings happened during the time I was open and prepared for it. That I'm going to learn, and I know that it is going to be a learning, and this is the environment I cherish to be part of. So part by design wanted to be there, but the learning happened was being aware and being open to grab as much as possible. That was whatever came on the way was willing to grab it and extend, go stretch a bit and make sure that is also done. And also the learnings are consciously, what are the learnings? And I would say, take it in, reflect, assimilate, and have conversations, have very good people around. So that was more, I would say, it's not by design, but it is more intentional. Yes, that's a word you used. Intentional, yes, and conscious learning with awareness. Yes.
Excellent. I think you very well put in terms of looking out for a company that will be tied up with how you think about it. When you think about this, right? How you mentioned that Chennai as a location, and that's a personal choice that each of us take. Like because oftentimes when we speak with people, they look at professional environment as only one sided. It's never like that. It's always a balance that you have to strike with other realms of your life. So,
Yes.
can you share some insights as to how that has shaped your S curves?
Oh, definitely. I had a few opportunities to go um, to Singapore or Bay Area, even in ThoughtWorks. One of my colleague from Singapore wanted me to be there for helping one of the very complex, large projects. That would have been amazing in my resume. But at the time, my daughter was 5, 6 years. I was very particular. I had a few my own beliefs about how to, what kind of a childhood I should give, and what is important, my prioritization. I have my ecosystem, family, personal friends ecosystem here. So I wanted my daughter to experience it, then planting her into a different environment. Of course, that also is advantages, that has its own advantages, but this is a decision we took and stayed back. So some of those things are, one is what is a value system we carry, what we believe, what is right at that time. Of course, no regrets, but that is an opportunity. Those are some of the opportunities consciously took decision that no, I'm not going to take it because of these things. A lot of times the personal factors will come in. When I say personal factors, it has nothing to do with you cannot do it. It is just a choice you make.
That also is critically important, right? When you think about it in terms of what are the S curves that you're not taking is also equally
Mm.
intentional compared to
Absolutely.
every opportunity that you take and go into a blind spot and say, okay, hey, that wasn't a great one as far as so you mentioned about a couple of opportunities that you decided to leave out. So if it were today, those opportunities present themselves, what would your reality be?
In those conditions on which I took the decision, it will not change. If those constraints were not there, maybe. I mean, the opportunity without any other external constraint is phenomenal one, very good one. I will take it. Only thing is the geographical constraint and the situation around it. The priority wise, it is not the priority. Other things took priority. It's as simple as that.
And the reason why I was asking that is that time also plays a very critical role, right? So,
Yes.
A time of ourselves as well as a time that what is the value that we ascertain or we attach to that particular.
Absolutely. The same thing as you asked, if it is today, if I have to travel for a few years to different geography for an interesting complex project, I wouldn't mind doing that because the other constraints are not there. So it will be easy to take a call.
Yeah, I think time as a sense we normally don't look at it that, and the second one whenever we have taken that leap, it's also takes time, resilience or whatever that you want to call, but every time you take a leap, and you mentioned initially ThoughtWorks was hard to gel and understand how to work on, right? That you know time period, what is typically the time period when you take that leap to make it successful? Because I've heard different durations from different people, so I want to understand your take of it.
um, I would, in my experience, I have seen if we are mentally prepared to go through that, and open enough to take the challenges and face it. That learning curve is faster, steeper, and 3 to 6 months is a time to settle down reasonably, to find the feet and settle. To earn, in ThoughtWorks terms, it's called earning the stripes. That is somewhere between 6 months to 1 year. That is a earning stripes. You have to earn the stripes because people believe that, yes, you can do it. As an individual, for me to settle down, it took maybe 3 to 6 months. And to be part of ThoughtWorks and being accepted as part of, yes, ThoughtWorker, this guy means something, it took 1 year. And one good project to be delivered.
And what you do in that one year also matters, right? Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Yes. You have to earn the stripes. No other go.
I love it, earning the trust stripes. I know I've heard of this, but I think given the number of paucity of such a wisdom, I think it's important to reiterate earning the stripes. Um, SK, when you look at your career in terms of these few S curves in personal, spiritual, and as well as professional realms, right? Are there any quote unquote regrets or S curves that you wished you did not take, or you wished that was path not path that you could have taken? Are there
Definitely,
anything?
yes. Yeah, definitely, yes. In ThoughtWorks itself, there were a few opportunities. If in hindsight, I look at it, I could have taken it. I may not be able to go into details, but yes, I could have. And the one more thing I really think I could have done differently in ThoughtWorks, especially in the last, I would say, I was there for 8+ years, and last 4 years, I would say, was more on the EQ part. After learning all this in PM Power and after going through a lot of changes, of course, with the help of my daughter also in the personal front, that 4 years, if I have to do it today, it would be completely different from what I did that time. Not on the simple IQ part of it, delivery part of it, or top of the iceberg part of it, yeah, nothing much different. But slightly below the iceberg, below the water, middle of the iceberg and bottom of the iceberg will be completely different. The way I could have handled it. And the way I could have carried myself would have been completely different. Those are, I would say, definitely S curves missed, because that would, the kind of experience I would have learned and experienced, and also the kind of experience and environment I would have provided to people who are working with me would have been completely different. That's very important. It's a missed opportunity.
That's quite deep. Thank you for sharing that, SK. Because many times what we end up listening or seeing in the public spaces is more about the very flashy, the best moment of their lives. And it's the life is thousands of normal, very boring ones or a very difficult ones, and then one big one, right? I think we don't end up seeing that. I think I wanted to have this real, and thank you for sharing that. I think really appreciate that, because it's all about learning and growing as an individual, as a society.
In fact, thanks to PM Power and my colleagues in PM Power, I have this courage to be comfortable sharing this at this point.
Thank you. I can feel the wisdom coming out of you. Yeah, wise wisdom. I can say that. Thank you so much, and appreciate your time. Any last thoughts you want to share with the fellow listeners?
Yeah, one thing I keep, I heard it from one of my, I would say, early days mentor. He was our client when in the software project we were doing. He was our the spinning mill project we were doing. He was a chairman, pretty senior guy. I was in my mid-20s and he was 60+ at that time. Well experienced man, from started from rags to riches story kind of. He used to say, there is an easy chair syndrome. Whenever you are in a doubt to take a decision, think that you are 70 plus, sitting in an easy chair and thinking about this incident when it is happening. How you would feel about it. Take a call. It won't go wrong. Don't decide based on the current moment. Decide based on how would you think about it when you are in 70s. So at that time, your priorities will be different, and what you want to remember about this incident will be completely different. So that would give you a balance in deciding something. At every stage in my life, I was thinking about it. I used to learn more about it. Even today, I feel every day, whenever I think about it, I learn a new thing. That is one of the, I would say, I carry it over I have heard quite a lot of things from many people. There are so many people who have helped me fine tune, but this is one thing I carry all through. That helps.
That really, really helps in terms of understanding where you are going, and it also gives you a empty chair, we used to call, right, in the professional environment, saying that if somebody else was sitting, like a board member was sitting next to us, what would they think? Or
Yes.
the same 70 years, or in current number of lives, maybe our 90-year-old self, what will they say?
Exactly. That gives a very nice balance inside, and not react, and better, I would say, more balanced response. That helps.
Very, very cool, SK. Thank you so much for your time today. I appreciate it from everybody from Software People Stories. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me here, and see you soon. Thank you.
We thank Siddharth for the music and Anita for promoting the Software People Stories.
If you like this episode,
Please subscribe on your favorite podcast client.
And spread the word in your network.
if you'd like to share your story,
Contact us at podcasts@pm-powerconsulting.com.